ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಸೆರೆನಿಟಿ ಹೋಮ್ ಬಯರ್ಸ್ ಫೋರಂ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಆನ್ ರೇರಾ ಕಾಂಪನ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಬಯಸ್ತೇವೆ. ನವರಾತ್ರಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ದಸರಾ ಹಬ್ಬದ ದಿನ ಸುಮಾರು 50 ಜನ ಹೋಮ್ ಬಯರ್ಸ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಸೆರೆನಿಟಿ ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಕನಕಪುರ ರೋಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಡಿಲೇ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಫಂಡ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂತ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಫಂಡ್ ಬಂದ ನಂತರ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನು ಶುರು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ರೀಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೈಯರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಬಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳೇನಿದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೋಮ್ ಬೈಯರ್ when it comes to RERA regulations is concerned. And the project was actually started in 2000, JD happened in 2010, and then all the bookings have started after that. And project earlier delivery as per our knowledge was 2015 and got delayed so many years, and even after 2020 the project is not delivered. And because of Swami Fund we are anticipating it may deliver next year. But as per RERA regulations, what are the rights that we have with respect to the compensation is concerned? I think from the possession point of view, there are a lot of stress already been put on. But today's meeting will focus mainly on the rights on the compensation of a home buyer. And then we wanted to welcome our legal advisor and our advocate, Shri Mohan sir from Laman and Associates onto this program. And Mohan sir comes with a rich experience and expertise in the legal system. He runs his own Laman Associates company in Bangalore, dealing with a lot of real estate projects and then delivering justice to a lot of home buyers, and also expert in RERA as a regulation is concerned, also giving a lot of suggestions and implementation ideas to the authorities as well, and also fighting a lot of RERA cases in Bangalore for our projects as well as other projects in the real estate sector also. Please heartily welcome to you, Mohan sir, onto this platform. And we have almost 50 home buyers who are interested, want to listen to you from on three important aspects. One is, what is this RERA is all about? And then what are the rights that RERA will provide to home buyers, especially projects of this kind? And then because of the stress fund which has come through, there are a lot of rumors that has been spread across by many, many of the people. I don't want to name the name of the people in this platform, but there are a lot of unnecessary news and noise has been created saying that if the RERA compensation is getting filed, then it will impact the stress fund. So we want to hear from you, sir, about the rights. And then unnecessary lot of email circulation is happening, and from the builder side they are sending out a notice where they are asking buyers to sign a letter where they are going to lose the rights of claiming a compensation itself, right? So we wanted to discuss with you, sir. So probably we'll open up the platform and then we'll welcome you onto this platform, and then I will hand it over to you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Dhananjay. First of all, let me wish everybody happy Navratri and Dasara festival. We are in the almost a weekend where we are celebrating one of the biggest festivals. It would have been very joyful had you been with the possession of the new apartment and celebrating there. It would have been very excellent. Okay, now the three issues which have been taken up. Issue number one: what are the rights under RERA? How the RERA makes money function? Let me just give a brief note on the RERA. This Real Estate Regulatory Act was passed by central government with a basic idea to give speedy justice to the home buyers where the project is stuck for numerous years, and also for those in future who takes up real estate activity, that these people should not be affected by the misconduct or mismanagement from the builders end. So the RERA Act is a regulatory act with a lot of provisions to check the conduct of businesses of the real estate, as to the payment, how the people have to make it to the builder, and what are the rights and duties of the builders as well as the rights and duties of the customers is well defined under the RERA Act. RERA Act is a central act.
Sorry to interrupt. You can slightly increase the volume. You can keep your mic close.
There is some disturbance with respect to voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it fine now?
Yeah, the mic you can keep it very close to your mouth, sir.
One minute, I will. Fine now?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is much,
yeah,
much better, sir. Much
Okay.
better.
Okay. Then I will go with the
Laptop speaker.
on the phone. Yeah.
It is, it is
So
fine,
the
sir.
RERA Act, which is, as the RERA Act was a central act, the RERA Act empowered the state governments to make rules and regulation with regard to the specific natures and requirements of the state government. So rules also framed and the implementation started in 2017. And there are a lot of rights given under the central act, like various sections has been defined under which how the possession has to be handed over, how much money has to be paid at the time of agreement, what are the standard formats of agreement. These are the general natures of rules and regulations which has been made so that the builder follow it strictly, wherein the customers will not be cheated or they cannot be taken for a ride, which before RERA Act was very much prevalent. So the RERA Act, if people strictly follow and demand that all agreements and the procedure should be followed as per the RERA Act, will help all the home buyers not to be cheated or taken for ride for their valuable money which they invested, which is their nothing but their lifetime savings. Okay, so the rights available to is right to compensation if there is a delay in the project. Okay, so the first and foremost right is if there is a delay in completion of the project and a builder gives you a date saying that I will hand over the possession by say 2015 and you don't get the possession, then the RERA Act prescribes that from the date of your handing over, from that date which was promised by the builder till you are given the occupancy certificate, you are entitled for compensation. Now that's why the RERA Act makes a difference. The RERA Act has fixed a rate of compensation which cannot be changed. So the rate of compensation fixed under RERA Act is based on SBI MCLR rate. Okay, this MCLR rate is the rate at which they give loan to various customers. So this rate of interest as on today is 7.25%. So the RERA Act goes one step further and says it is 7.25% plus 2% more than what the SBI rate is there. So as on today, the total compensation rate is 9.25%. That is what the rate of compensation at which you are entitled to seek for compensation. So the money which you have paid is the basis upon which the rate of your quantum of compensation is fixed. That is, if you are paid, say, for example, 50 lakh rupees for an apartment, as on the date when they were supposed to give you possession, from that date till you get possession, you are entitled to get compensation at the rate of 9.25. This is one of the rates at which the compensation has been decided by the RERA under the RERA Act. The other rights is whatever has been promised you as per the agreement or sales brochures or by way of representation by the marketing executives, whether it is written in the agreement or by the website presentation or by any kind of media representations, including newspaper, wherein the builder says, I will give you so and so thing. I will give you a clubhouse of 10,000 square feet or 1 lakh square feet. That, as per their representation, are supposed to complete it and hand over. Another finality of this is the project should be legally complied with. So the RERA Act expects that every builder should comply with all the legal and statutory requirements, complete the project and hand over to the customers. These are the provisions under which the RERA Act is empowering each customer to do it. Now, these are the rights which is actually been declared. Now, once the rights are declared, then comes the second question of yours, how to get it implemented. The implementation of the RERA Act is, there are two stages, where a compensation, it is decided by adjudicating officer, which we call it as AO in a short. So all the matters where individual try to seek for compensation, the matter is posted before AO, wherein the compensation is decided, and any disputes which is between the land builder and the customers, that is the allottees, it is decided before the AO, who takes care into the aspect of compensating what is the period at which the compensation be paid. So it's a general fixed compensation period is, the guideline is your date of possession. So anybody who has a date of possession fixed under the agreement, say it is 2015, 2016, March 2017 or 18, from that is a determining date from which you are entitled for compensation. The amount of compensation, again, as I repeat,
It is based on the amount paid as per your agreement. As on the date of possession, if you are paid, or say even today, if you are paid any extra money, so your compensation depends upon the quantum of money paid, irrespective of whatever the builder has given in your agreement, which is not binding. Most of the agreements, the builder which I have come across, not only in your project, another project, is they say that we will compensate at the rate of 3 rupee, 4 rupee, or I will give you a lump sum of say 10,000 rupees per month till I give you possession. This is no more a valid contract. Those things have been superseded by the central legislation when the RERA Act came into picture. And even before the RERA Act, the law never recognized any kind of a compensation which is declared an agreement as a binding. Because previous to RERA, there is a consumer law which was protecting the interests of the home buyers. The rate was discretionary rate of the consumer forums. Now under the RERA, there is a fixed price, which is SBI rate of interest as on today, plus 2% over and above. So the quantum, if the builder is saying that I will only give you 3 rupee, which has been agreed when you signed the agreement, that is no more valid. The minimum rate at which you are supposed to be get compensated is as by SBI rate plus 2%. Now the golden question which arises is, if this is a generalized law, can everybody get a blanket without going to RERA? No. The cordial principle of law is anybody who needs compensation or anybody who feels have been wronged by the other side needs to approach the legal forum, get it adjudicated, and then only you are entitled for the compensation. So the first and foremost, barricade which has been put by law is you cannot sit and relax and say that I should be compensated as per RERA Act. That is not the principle of law. If you have been suffering from because of the conduct of the builder, you should express it in the legal forum. Any expression outside the legal forum is not a recognized mode of protest or establishes that you have suffered, because silence is in reality is an acceptance. So when you keep silence, that means you are accepting to the exploitativeness of the builder. That means you are giving consent for the builder not to give you compensation. So if you want compensation, the best and the only method is you need to protest it as per the recognized modes of the law, that is under the RERA Act. You need to raise a complaint before the RERA authority and say that I was supposed to get a possession on so and so date. Builder has failed to give me the possession. So I am being cheated or I am being wronged by the builder. I have suffered damages. Hence, I need to be compensated as per whatever the law is existing. That's how we prove that you are entitled for compensation. Otherwise, there's no really a ground for you to say that I will sit back and relax and say that, okay, I'm suffered now, I need a compensation. In that case, the builder will simply say that, no, I will not give you compensation. Why should I give you compensation? You accepted it. See, we had all this problem. All those stories which have been put up the builders is not actually a reality. See, the most of the builders will try to say that we had a cement issues were there. We did not get steel on time. Sand was not available. We found a rock inside the complex when we were doing the foundation. It's not the reality. The reality is when a builder goes for constructing a multi-story apartment of what you have been getting, they have to do their soil test. They need to supply all this data to the authorities before plans are commenced. That's why the commencement certificate after plan comes when the foundation is finished. So the commencement certificate is the one after which the structure starts, because commencement certificate will look into the foundation of the building. So any builder saying that we got a rock and we were not having steel, we did not have cement, we did not have a labor, they are supposed to have all this planned from their end. These are the contingency which every builder faces. And they are builders and they themselves claims to be professional builders. Hence, as a professional conduct, they are supposed to have all the resources ready, financial resources ready to complete the project, irrespective of whether one buyer is there or the entire project is sold out. Because it is not that they have taken up the project on a condition that if I get all the customers, then I will start the construction, which many of the builders try to do it. See, please understand, builders has many avenues to raise a fund. They have avenues like they take a project finance, which is at a very, very low rate. The project finance usually is a period of 5 years, wherein they are given a window opportunity not to pay interest. Please note, the builders do not pay interest for the period of 2 years, and their interest component starts after 2 years or 3 years. And there, the interest rate is higher than what we get it. It may be like 22% or 24%, but they have a window opportunity where they don't have to pay interest. So they get simply the straightforward money, which is good enough to start a business, and then they get the money from the customers. So their financial is already taken care by the government as well as the bankers to finance them. It is not a small money which has been financed. It's a huge quantum of money. It is when a builder mismanages this fund either by deviation or by utilizing this fund for their own activities, which is outside the scope of the project, the builders get into trouble. Otherwise, in your case, okay, I will be very specific about the serenity. Please understand, the builder has taken a project finance which runs to nearly 600 crores, and collection from the customers itself is around 600 crores. The project requirement as per the builders is 1000 crores. So if you look at it, the builder has 200 crores of surplus money as on today. This money is actually where is what is the question which builders are not ready to disclose. Now this, with this, another fund has now come in. I'm just deviating from the topic of the RERA rights, but then comes the Swami Fund, because I'm coming to this third issue of Swami Fund.
Yeah.
Now the Swami Fund has come into picture where they are again going to give 360 crore rupees. We welcome the move by the central government, keeping in view the buyer's concern, not the builder's concern. Please understand, the Swami Fund is not meant to help the builders. Swami Fund is meant to help the home buyers. So the home buyers' rights are not removed from the Swami Fund. Swami Fund only says that we are giving you this finance so that the customers gets their end product, and we will deal with the builders as to how to recover the money. And the Swami Fund comes only when they show the liquidity in the project. That means the builder, as per their declaration, there is stocks of money available, stock of saleables available, which is actually mortgaged to SBI or to any other finances, which should take care of the their repayment. Now, whatever the repayment of SBI or any other finances is immaterial to us, because we are the original financiers for the builder. When a Swami Fund is coming in, the Swami Fund has created one more liquidity and one more loan on the project. See, now, if you look into your entire project, you have 3 loans here. First loan comes from project financer, that's a Piramal Group. The second fund comes from the customers, from your bankers, from your pocket, or from your self-financing. But now the Swami Fund comes and sits on the first term as a project financer. It replaces Piramal. It also takes out you as a third customers, and it becomes the first charge on the property. Now, my idea is, and my request and my suggestion is, Swami Fund is something which creates a charge on the property. As a home buyer, you are supposed to get a property without any kind of lien, attachments, or any kind of bank charges on the property, which will affect your right in the long term. Because unless the charge is cleared, you don't get a title to your own apartment. So that is what the entire scheme is. So the Swami Fund is there, which takes care into the account of all the properties and the securities guaranteed by the promoters, which is not our headache. So our contention is how to safeguard our interest. Our interest is not only to get an apartment. That is the first primary thing which everybody will think, that I need to get my apartment. But my question is, should we get an apartment without any kind of loan, or should we get an apartment with mortgages created by the builder or by any third party people? Our answer is, we should not get a property where our property is mortgaged and we just become a nominal owner. We have to be the absolute owner. That means my property should not be having any kind of lien. My property should be clear from all charges. Now, what the builder is trying to do is, by circulating those kind of letters saying that if you don't give up your rights of compensation, if you don't give us NOCs and other things, which is not required under the Swami Fund. If you can just Google it, it will say that Swami Fund cannot be used for compensating individual. This is the central government sponsored fund, but Swami Fund never says you are not entitled for compensation. All your compensation are something which the builder has to take care from his pocket. It is builder's responsibility to compensate. So the Swami Fund is very clear on that thing. Your rights to get compensation on one hand is totally protected, and the fund is given to see to that the project is completed without any kind of hindrances to the home buyer. This is the entire objective of the Swami Fund. So any people or any kind of rumors which has been spread, if you go for compensating yourself, you will not get Swami Fund. It is absolutely a false statement. If at all that kind of a comfort letter was required from the SBI, they could have simply asked Mantri to say, give me the details of all your sellers, all the purchasers, all the vendors. We will write to them, address it individually, take a letter of consent from that you are not going to seek any kind of compensation. And we are giving you additional loan, which you need to settle it from your end. That is not the case. That is not the case at all. The case is, they are saying, we will fund it to the project which is stalled. And that project which is stalled will be given by us for the receivables and for the stock in trade. And remember, in your case, there is one more tower like Serenity Phase 6, which is totally not launched. Including that, probably the cost would come to 1,200 crores, which the Mantri should be capable enough to take it out. In that scenario, there is an ample money left, which has to be given as a compensation. Please remember, any builder makes profit. All the business they do is meant for profit, and loss is a part of the business which they are ready to do it. They get a nearly 40 to 50%. I'm not going to be making a overstretching statement here, but under the RERA Act itself, the Act gives 30% margin as a profit to any builder that for that concern. So if you are purchasing an apartment, in your case, if it is 1 CR, that is a free money. That means that money need not be accounted by the builder to RERA Act. Under the RERA, don't have to say that how he has paid. So the issue is profit, a builder is around 30%. Not a small money. It is free for the purpose of construction of the apartment. So if you look at it, and the more depth you go, that means whatever money you are paying, it is only 70% required as a standard. Now, if a project is of a higher scale and a premium project, that means the cost of construction for any project remains the same, except for a few variables, which when you look into the overall cost aspect will be totally disproportionate. That means the buyer still has a profit. Where this profit has been taken is something which only the builder knows it, because they have collected your money upfront. The profit is being collected upfront. That profit has been invested somewhere else, which is again growing for them. It is not going to be diminishing. In a real estate terms, money is never lost. Money keeps growing. So when the builder is saying that we are under loss, we are lost the money, it is not true. Builder makes a new company. Builder gives that company money. That money is again spent on other projects. The money keeps growing for a builder. It is the same case with the Mantri. I don't see that Mantri actually saying that I'm totally bankrupt. They try to create multiple company to show on record that they are losing money or they are they're going bankrupt, but which is not the true case. If that is the case, let them come clean to the customers, show their assets of all the group of company, show the assets of all the promoters, and say this is the money which we have earned, but we lost this much money because of the other things. So those things, when we look into it, there is no loss on the part of builder. And another shocking thing probably which I would say is the builder would be charging you, let's say 10% or 8% or 5% or sometimes 14% as a GST. Now the GST regime is entirely different. It is not 14% or other thing. There is a formula which is being given. It's a 5%, and there are benefits which is given back. See, if you are paying 10 lakh rupees as a GST, the government doesn't take all the 10 lakh rupees. It gives back to the builder for the value add. So in this way, if you can ask Mantri or this project how much GST has been actually paid from their pocket to the government revenue, you will be shocked to know that zero money would have been paid. That means the 10% collection, whichever is come, it is at the disposal of the Mantri itself. And this is not a revelation which I'm just making out for the making a statement. Other projects I have seen it. This is what they have stated it, and this is what they have claimed it. So in that case, the Mantri is not under loss. I don't presume, and neither I want to assume that they are. See, the attitude of any builder would be stall the project for some more time, panic created among the customers, and they may ask, see, we are under loss, you want the project to be completed, give me another 10%, the market raises. Now the market rate is more than what you invested at that point of time. You invested in 2013, but now it is 2018. So market has increased by 10%. And if the market is bad, they will say, see, market has gone bad, so we are unable to sell our stock. They are keeping their stock for the highest price, not for the lowest price. So the profitability loss is something which builder has to be concerned. If you want to forego your money, I have no objection for people to forego their money. It is, after all, their hard-earned money. But if you're asking me, why should I forego my money? Then it is up to you to prove that how you have been wronged by somebody. As the typical example would be for any person is, if somebody for no reason says you are an evil man or other thing, don't be protested. Legal way to protest it is by raising a complaint to the appropriate authority and then get a verdict. See, the verdict speaks that you are supposed to get a compensation. Now, compensation means you have suffered, and for that suffering, you are being compensated by the government through its various authorities established by them. So you have been, so if you want to say that you are a sufferer, The only way you can prove that you are a sufferer is you should have a verdict to say you are a sufferer by way of a verdict from the RERA authorities. Now, you may say, what is the point, sir? We get a RERA verdict and then we don't get anything. It gets delayed. And what is the point of a RERA thing? See, if this project, okay, I'm really hopeful the Mantri will have a good sense to complete this project. But the quantum of loan and other thing, if this project or SAMI fund comes to know at some stage, if this gets derailed, not because of us, but by the misconduct of Mantri once again, then this is the verdict which is going to only help you in the long run. Because if any company goes into liquidation, if SBI or Piramal pulls Mantri into liquidation process through NCLT, your money is determined basis of two things. One, your agreement value, or based on your compensation verdict. So the court will, if you have a verdict from the authority, the court will ignore the cost of your actual price of the apartment, and it will start computing on the basis of a verdict, because you are legally entitled for that money and the company is legally bound to pay that money. That's a debt on the company. But if you don't get a verdict and the verdict is not in the picture, even the NCLT or any other liquidating forums, including High Court, when it goes for resolution of,
Hello.
Hello.
ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಹೋಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆಡಿಯೋ ಹೋಯ್ತು.
Hello, Mohan sir. Can you hear us?
No audio from Mohan.
Video no hoita, I think some problem. Mohan sir. Yeah, I think you are on mute.
Yeah, fine. Okay. So I was saying that when it goes to a liquidating process or any process where tomorrow, take for instance, Piramal has to get around 600 crores. Declaration made by Mantri is they have not repaid any money to Piramal. That means the charge of Piramal is first charge. For most of you people, Piramal is a first charge. Then comes your charge and your money. If Piramal pulls your property into litigation where the common area, common amenities, unsold stocks come into picture, you are also getting into trouble, into this liquidating process, which will be like a gag order by the National Company Law Firm. This supersedes any kind of legal disputes which are there. So to protect ourselves in a longer run, it is better that people have a verdict. It has been our track record which have experienced firsthand with the RERA coming into picture, that NCLT do recognizes the verdicts from the RERA authority or from the consumer forum or from the civil courts, that the quantum of money which they think is the debt owed to the customer by the company is based on verdict, not based on their agreement value.
Yeah.
So the agreement value becomes the secondary value, but verdict becomes the first value. So in that way, you actually get yourself protected in the long run. This document becomes a vital document for multiple reasons. One, you can prove and establish that you have been wrong. The charge creating by virtue of a verdict which remains unexpired till Mantri pays that money. Please understand, a verdict once it comes, it doesn't have an expiry. A tablet comes with an expiry. The court verdict doesn't come with an expiry, because it says until you are paid your money, Mantri is due. So the due always increases, and the verdict comes until OC. And once a OC comes, then they have to pay you the money. If money is not paid, the verdict still continue to increase. The interest component at the 9.25 keeps adding on to your verdict. Immaterial whether you have got the money or not, but that is a valid document. It's a valid money in paper actually, which if at all the law changes and other things happen, you may be able to encash it. And if you are successful in showing where the money has been misused, we can definitely recover it. So I don't think so. The recovery is impossibility here, and the benefits which flow from RERA verdicts are more than if you keep a silence where you do not have a verdict. So I think this is the entire scheme why the RERA Act has been people's choice, because we have been trying to say this is how you can do it, where other forums takes a more time. RERA verdicts is taking much faster, more economical, and it gives you higher compensation. So please try to see if you have been wrong. It is up to you to protest legally and say that you have been victim of it, and for that victim you should be compensation should be awarded. Hence, if you have a compensation award with you, you can always, for your lifetime, you can always say Mantri is liable to pay me, Mantri is indebted to me forever. So Mantri cannot escape. they remain indebted for you forever until you get your money.
Thanks a lot, Mohan sir. I think it's a very detailed, discussion and then detailed information what you have provided. I think one thing is very clear. If what you said is absolutely right, if we are a victims, we should say we are a victim. Unless we say we are a victim, no court or anybody else will not come into your help, right? So that's one of the reason I think it's very important for all of us to keep order in hand. It may take to execute is a different thing, but keep the order in hand. That is exactly what we are trying to educate all the home buyers across different platforms and different forums. Whatever, whether it is a consumer court or RERA definitely has an advantage because of what Mohan sir just now explained, because of the speedness and because of the economical value that it brings onto the table, and also faster, right? So time, money is also important in terms of giving the verdict. Say probably, sir, once assume that you have a verdict in your hand, and then say around 15 to 20 lakhs is what the, let's say an example, right? It's not any particular case. A customer is liable to be paid by monthly around 20 lakhs. And, if the buyer is supposed to pay around 10 to 15 lakhs as a balance amount, right? For example, someone who is linked to a construction linked plan, last payment is missing, right? So in that case, there is an option to do a set off also, right? So that probably if you can just explain that portion, many customers are into that category. One is a construction linked category and another is a pre EMI category where every amount is already being paid, right? And the other category is a buyback category. These are the three major categories, patterns that we have identified. Probably you want to kind of break that approach into these three layers, so that will really help. First, to start with the construction
Mohanji,
linked.
and
Just 1 second, Vikramji.
there is another category, subvention scheme also.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So probably let's start with the first one, which is construction link.
I'm unable to hear anybody. Hello.
We can able to hear you. So first category is a construction linked category. Second one is a pre-EMI category. Third one is buyback category, and the fourth one is some scheme 10 to 20% or 30% scheme is there. So probably let's start with first one, Mohan sir. So what are the approaches people should take? Hello, Mohan sir, can you hear us? I think some problem with the video and audio.
I think some
network issues. Yeah, network issues. Yeah, there is a network lag. Probably we'll wait for some time. Yeah, Mohan sir.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, you're on mute, sir. Yeah.
Sorry, it got disconnected.
Yeah. No problem. So what we are discussing is on 3-4 categories are there. As you know, I think you're already aware of all the categories. So probably want to address one category by category. For example, start with the construction linked category, pre-EMI category, buyback category, and 10 to 80% category, right? 10 to 90%
Okay.
category. Yeah.
See, construction linked and 80 to 90% category, I will group it as a single group, because these people may not have paid 100% of money. There may be still money which they have held it on.
Correct.
So for those people who gets a verdict, or who are before if their stage of payment has come and they don't want to pay, they have to raise a dispute, and they can say that if there is a balance money payable from my end, I'm ready to contribute. So they don't have to pay it, and that will be recognized by the RERA AO also, that since the money has to be received from the builder and money has to be paid from you, there can be a set off of the money. So in that case, you are not a defaulter. Mantri may say that you are a defaulter, but RERA will not recognize you as a defaulter. Now, please understand, even if you are a defaulter, the only mechanism provided under the RERA Act is Mantri should raise a dispute against the customer, saying that customers have not paid me money, which I am legally entitled to receive. And Mantri knows that 0.99% Mantri itself is a defaulter, and none of its customers are a defaulter because they are liable to pay everybody as a compensation. So that's the reason why the builder will never come back to RERA seeking for any kind of compensation or try to recover the money from the customers. They only will say through a personal challenge or by personal and other methods, they will try to recover that money, which officially and legally they cannot recover from any of the allottees. So it's allottee use an upper hand. So the constructor link plan person, if it doesn't want to pay, there is no problem. he can always say that I have raised a dispute before the RERA AO, and until it is adjudicated, I will not pay money. And if at all I am liable to pay, please as a builder, you go and raise another complaint. Let us both adjudicate for a AO and see how much money I am liable to pay, how much money you are liable to pay. In that case, your money gets set off if the builder wants to do it. If the builder keeps silent, you have only thing you have to say is, I have gone to RERA, I don't have to pay you money because you are liable to pay me as per this rules. So please do not ask. That's the standard answer which you can give it, which is legally 100% correct.
Correct.
Now comes to the second lot, which is like,
sir, one
bring my
second. Before we move to the second one, just wanted to clarify one thing. So I think it's a very good point that you pointed out. And if in that case, in the CLP linked plan, if some amount is pending, we don't have to pay any remaining amount. And then if the order is in hand, so we have to see the difference, and based on that, the difference amount we have to pay if we are supposed to pay, right? Otherwise, we don't need to. Okay, and the second the second point with respect to CLP plan is that right now the construction is not restarted, so no demand has come yet, right? It will take another at least a year, right? So we have sufficient time to get the order in hand by the time they raise a demand, right? So this is an ideal time. That's what
I will lightly modify. Even if they make a demand right now, say within 6 months, 3 months, if you have a RERA complaint number, that is good enough to say that I have raised a dispute. Let us adjudicate on the quantum of compensation. And you can say that till that is adjudicated, I will not pay money.
Okay.
And you are absolutely right, because the RERA will never say pay money unless the dispute is closed. So you will be protected in that way. So don't worry about it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now
Yeah, let's move second one.
Yeah. Now I will go to the second type of customer, that is pre-EMI customers. It was very strange when I took up the individual cases. I learned certain mischiefs being done by the bankers as well as by the Mantri thing. The scheme which was offered is like, the banker gives you loan of, say, I'll just go with some kind of blind figures. I will give you say 1 CR loan, but they release only 80 CR to 80 lakhs to the builder. They retain 20 lakh rupees towards your pre-EMI money already for 3 years. This has been cases where I've come across the builders doing it. And then there are a pre-EMI case where the Mantri, the builder takes the entire money and they reimburse to you. And sometimes they are defaulter, sometimes they don't give you. Now, if you look at the dates, your pre-EMI date of 36 months will be exactly same as the promised date of possession. That means in a way they would have told you when you are trying to buy, they would have stated that we are going to compensate, pay pre-EMI till we hand over the possession of the apartment. But the possession has not come as per the promise. So now you are stuck between paying pre-EMI money and without possession. So both the way you are stuck. So if you, in those kind of circumstances, you can have the two options. One is you can ask for compensation with possession, which at the time of, if any money is payable, can all be adjusted and sorted out. The quantum of difference money can still be recovered from the builder. If the project is ready, there will be more commodity which can be sold from the builder. That commodity, like apartment which is unsold, can be attached by the customers at that point of time to recover their money. So you still have an option to recover the money. So don't lose heart that we may not be able to recover money. You will be able to certainly be able to recover money. So in that case also you are secure. And the third case is buyback customers, where people have paid 100%, taken a loan, they are unable to pay the loan, and the bank loan is there. RERA actually recognized this problem very well. At a AO level, I have been very successful in getting 2x verdict, wherein the customer have been given whatever money has been paid, along with interest reimbursement order has been passed, along with the loan has to be closed from the builder, and this direction is also given. So the loan has to be now, as per RERA, the loan has to be cleared by the builder. Compensation has to be paid by the builder to the allottee. Once you get this kind of an order, probably if you are not in position financially to pay the bank loan and other thing, probably you need to do other more litigations. There are certain mechanisms which you need to follow, certain legal safeguards which you need to follow, because there may be issues of check bounce cases coming up. So those is entirely different methods which needs to be done for those customers who are trying to go for a buyback under 2x schemes. So there may be a chances of check bounce cases coming in. So you need to issue legal notices to the bank, need to issue legal notices to the Mantri saying that you are a defaulter. You have to bring that knowledge to the bankers saying that you are to collect this money from the bank. So this legal process has to be done by individual basis and protect individually whatever your interests are concerned. Even for those customers, your agreement is not cancelled unless your money is paid by the monthly. So don't worry that just because I'm asking an exit, my agreement will be cancelled. Monthly will resell it to somebody and I will not get money. That is not the way it works. The condition which is imposed is unless your money is not paid, that apartment cannot be sold. And whatever compensation is there, once you get a verdict, you can go for recovery of the compensation at whatever the methods and the time you want it. You can still continue to go for recovering this money. So all the three cases, the compensation is fixed at SBI rate plus 2%. Only thing is difference comes in the date. For an exit customer, the date of compensation is from the date of payment rather than date of possession. And for the people who are asking for possession, the compensation comes from the date of your agreement possession. So if you calculate it, it all comes to the same rate, same quantum of compensation. Only thing difference is there you want to go out and here you want the possession. So in either way, you are protected very well under the RERA. Need not bother and think that, okay, I will be standard and other people will get a more benefits. It's not so. It's all equally considered by the lawmakers. The law is very balanced and it is very, very well defined for your rights as well as the liabilities of the builder.
Okay. Okay. Excellent, sir. So in any question, I think Prabhu Shankar has got up.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, thank you, sir. You have really given a lot of information. That is very nice, sir. There are 3-4 types of people who are booked the apartment, and there are different schemes. Now, these people can approach RERA. That is also fine. What I want to mention here, see, these monthly people have created confusion that if the people don't sign that memo, then first thing it is happen, and second is doubt. So please give this memo. That this is what SBI is not telling. These people are telling that SBI may insist this kind of a point. It is better you give this kind of a memo. This is what these people are creating it. How do we tackle this kind of a situation? People are not against going for RERA. They are definitely, they want a compensation. It is their intention. But here, what they are trying to create an atmosphere, if you don't give the memo, this project may get halt and will not get our homes. This kind of a fear they are bringing among all the home buyers. How do we tackle this kind of a situation?
You rightly said it's a fear. And fear has to be overcome. Ignore the fear and the problem is solved. It's very simple.
One more thing has come to my mind. Why don't we directly interact with SBI CAPS? See, this is what this.
Prabhu Shankar, just wanted to interrupt there. I think, SBI CAP is an investor, okay? And you are not paid your money to investor to directly talk to investor, right? You are paid money to your builder. And if you paid money to builder, you ask compensation or any communication with the builder, right? So that's I think we should avoid this, any third party intervention, right?
Okay.
So builder is responsible for developing a project for me because I have paid money for it. And if he's not developing, then he is responsible for giving the compensation along with the money with whatever is applicable law, right? So
Correct.
he's another, SBI CAP is another investor like anybody, like Piramal, but it is coming from the government controlled. That's it. That's my thought. Probably Mohan sir can answer to that.
Sir, SBI, as I said, is looking into your plight and they are releasing fund for construction. This is meant for construction, not for compensation. The law is very clear with regard to the SBI fund. It is meant for construction activity so that the project gets completed. The idea is once the project gets completed, there will be stocks which is not sold by the Mantri at that point of time. You have a right to get compensation. You can always attach those properties, get yourself compensated. SBI is giving you a way where the project gets completed and then you can hold on to the builders for its stocks and you can encash that stock. So please do not mix it up in a different way. I feel this is a positive move. Your project gets completed by the time you get a verdict.
Exactly.
And then your verdict is ready to be enforced.
Exactly.
You are in a golden goose type situation. I feel if SBI gives you the money to complete the project, keep it in mind, you need to wait for a year. As and soon the project gets completed, and the builder has a stock, start attaching those stocks for recovery. come back. I know the procedure to do it. I will get those attachments done. You will get your money at that point of time. It is difficult if the stock cannot be sold to recover money. It would be easier to get money if the stocks are available. You know, I'll just give you a hope. Okay, I'm just going to give you a hope. See how it works. Assume you 100 people are there, and assume that you 100 people get around 20 crore rupees verdict. Right? That means you are in a position where 100 people can buy 20 units from Mantri and then sell it off, make whatever profits you want. Okay. It's,
No, I think that's one thing. I think many buyers are unable to understand, because of the Mantri's threatening emails. I think you need to ignore.
forget it. That's
Yeah,
what I said.
yeah.
When it's
We
a
just
threat,
ignore it. Yeah,
ignore the threat, it will
Yeah.
pass over. It's a
Exactly,
time being
exactly.
confusion. Do not respond. The more you respond, the
Yeah.
more they will try to bombard. The more you get bombard and more panic you become. So
Exactly.
just ignore it and say we are not. You want to respond back? Very simple. Raise a complaint and say, sir, I have gone to RERA. Let us
Yeah.
meet at RERA and we will see. You have asked for a
Exactly.
comfort letter or anything. Please come to AO level, and if the AO says, judge says that you have to give it mandatory under the law, then let us consider. So
Exactly.
reply back saying that I have gone to RERA. This is my complaint number. Let us meet there and discuss.
Exactly.
Your fear will be over.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mr. Mohan, this
Yes,
is
sir.
Shomik this side, a small thing. Now,
Just
what
one
is
second, sir. If you don't mind, can you please come on video? Put on your video, so that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Shomik this side. Now, I had a small doubt here. See, when
Yeah.
SBI Cap has done the valuation of the project and accordingly decided it is a viable thing and the loan can be sanctioned. So now at that time, maybe my numbers may be wrong, maybe 100 or 150 home buyers have filed a compensation suit. Some may have received an order. So those all things SBI Cap must have taken into account while considering the viability of the project. Now, as on date, I understand some 1,000+ home buyers are there who have invested the money. Now, I personally, I have not filed the compensation suit, but yes, obviously, it's a big money which is there lying idle from 2013, 2014, and we are eagerly waiting. So, I would also very much like to see that my money brings me a justice. But only point of worry is that if let's say all 1,000 of us go into this route, I mean, then does the equation of the valuation for SBI Cap changes, and can it lead to an issue where things goes into a little bit different direction, and all whatever this 8-10 years we have waited just gets further dragged on for we don't know how many years.
Absolutely not, sir. For SBI, it is the first charge. So for them, they're absolutely secured. There's no issue with the SBI. And please don't think that SBI is giving finance based on only this project. They have done other valuations. They would have looked into the valuation of the company. They would have done the valuation of the mother company itself, that is the Mantri Developers Private Limited. All the stock and trade, assets, everything would have been considered by them before giving finance. Now, please understand, your company, that is the company which is actually implementing this project, is Mantri Constellation Private Developers Private Limited, something.
Castle Vista Private Limited. Now they have changed from Mantri Castle to Castle Vista.
Yeah. Now this Castle Vista is not an independent company which files independent balance sheet. The balance sheet is filed by MDPL.
MDPL, yeah.
Wherein they show all the assets of the sisterly company also. Because I have, in other matters, I have checked the things. Declaration of assets, profit, loss, everything is done there. And when SBI is looking into it, it's looking into the overall scenario of the Mantri. And for this, your project being the oldest project, they have taken this project as the first choice to give finance. They are not given for all the project, but they have covered all the project to secure their interest. So you did not have to worry that if all the people ask for compensation, then SBI will take a, put a full stop. No, SBI is giving only 360 crores for the money which is available is around 600 crores, irrespective of whatever it is. It is their primary calculation. So still in that case, your money and your compensation is entirely different issue. SBI doesn't look into your compensation or the quantum of money. They have not valuated on basis of the compensation. And that's the reason why SBI Cap, the Swami Fund Vek is very clear. all compensation issues, people are entitled, and they are entitled to take it from the builder, and they have only put a restriction that money given by SBI cap cannot be given for compensation purpose. So they know that compensation is something which is open issue, which you people are entitled to. And that's the reason why very clearly in the guidelines, it's very clearly provided that you can see compensation against the promoter, but not against SBI fund.
Correct.
So there's this apprehension should be removed from your mind that if all of the people goes to the thing, then leave it. Then comes the golden question from my end. I also want to ask a question. Say you have 1,000 customers and you want only 500 people to have a compensation order, and you will ready to forego
hello,
your.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Krishna Kumar, can you please go on mute?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
So my
to
question is very simple.
yeah,
You
to
have
answer
1,000
to your
people.
question,
Let's
I
assume-
mean, the only thing which was coming across minds, maybe other, maybe also in agreement, I don't know, that whether we take that step once this construction goes into a full swing mode and we see a visibility of the things really happening, or at this stage when we are very delicately balanced, yet something is visible, we take these steps at this stage.
Sir, the documentation has been signed. Documentation has been signed between SBI and Mantri. So the final procedure of release of fund will take some time. The funding will start when the labor and other things has to be sorted out. There are some letters of guarantees has to be given by Mantri. It is not a one document signed and they will release the money. So there's an elaborate procedure which has to be done. This will be not in the public domain. So those works are going on. Believe me, it's not based on one document that the bank will finance it to the builder. There are multiple charges has to be created in the ROC. This itself will take at least 15-20 days to get the charges registered in the ROC and all those things. So it takes time for the money to be released. So your compensation and the work has nothing to be related upon. It is an individual thing which you are seeking for. It is something which is entirely different from the RERA.
I think very good point, sir. I think excellent point. Any other questions? Sir, before we move on to questions, I think Mohan sir, you have covered pre-EMI scheme and construction linked. There are a couple of more schemes. Sovereign scheme. Vikram, you want to come for? You want to say which is the scheme? Another scheme?
Yeah, it's the subvention scheme where the developer and the bank has got into an agreement where the 80% of the amount is released to the developer, but developer is supposed to pay the EMI till possession or the date which they have given in the agreement. So what happens in that scenario?
Sir, pre-EMI money, if they are paid to you as per the
No.
MOU which we signed it.
Yeah.
No, there are situations where people have received or for 36 months, 30 months of pre-EMI, or some people have received for 36 months. After that, the rate of compensation is the RERA considered that entire payment done from bank as a loan as well as your own self contribution as your investment, and the compensation is paid on the entire totality of the amount. So I will just split it here in case 1 crore is the apartment value, 20 lakhs is your investment. If you are seeking for a pre-EMI compensation, the RERA will give you compensation on your 20 lakh rupees and then say pre-EMI money to be paid separately. Okay. If the 36 months is lapsed, what we say is you give us compensation on totality of the amount. That is 1 CR. Then the compensation is based on 1 CR. So that takes care of your pre-EMI money and the bank interest. So if you really work it out on papers, it will be equal or sometimes more than what you are entitled under subvention scheme. So that is actually worked out in the RERA by fixing the rate of interest by SBI rate plus 2%. You get that because it's 9.25% and banks may charge you 11%, but it is on the overall money. So you get that pre-EMI money removes the concept of interest and other, the principal repayment. So the pre-EMI money will be lesser than the actual interest payable. So that actually, if you work out, it comes on par.
Yeah, and also I think in the interest of, there is one more case, sir. There are some people who already registered the flat. I know a few people who registered in 2015-16, and for them, they can also claim the rent part of it also, right? Yeah, because
the compensation, as I said, is not till possession.
Yeah,
compensation which I am getting for my almost all the customer is I don't ask for compensation till possession. I go one step ahead and say compensation till I get OC.
Correct.
That is occupancy certificate.
Occupancy
So the sale deed happens before in most of the cases, sale deed happens before OC comes. So even if a sale deed happens, you are supposed to get compensation till OC. That means if your sale deed has happened in 2015 and until you get a possession with OC, which
Correct.
may happen next year, you are entitled for compensation for 6 years.
Correct. No,
So
I think
you are not
that
restored.
yeah, I think just wanted to give a simple mathematics to people here, right? 8%, if you consider for a lakh rupee, it is 8,000 rupees, right? And if you consider 1 crore, it is 80,000, right? And
So
that's the
92,000.
sorry.
92,000.
Yeah, 92,000, right? So that is the amount of money, Mantri is liable to pay to, home buyer who paid 1 crore rupees, right? So that's why,
Per year.
please, yeah, one who paid 1 crore rupees, yeah, who registered a flat. So please imagine this is not a small money, and you just compare what is your liability supposed to get from the government order or court order, right? So and then you compare that with what 3 rupee per square feet, which has been put in your documents, which anyway is invalid as per RERA. I think you are supposed to have a document, as per RERA guidelines, but anyway, it was a documents, right? Before RERA, it was there, it was signed. And 3 rupee compare with what the amount that you are going to get. So you can only do the mathematics, right? So that's my suggestion to all the home. Anyway, it's an individual. I think we can suggest, we can help, in terms of we can guide. Ultimately, it's your hard-earned money and your flat that you need to take a call, right? Yeah, Rajesh, you have some questions. I think we are almost 10 minutes overshooted.
Yeah. Actually, okay. One question which I posted, but the other question which is I felt important, as actually we already discussed, it is a fear what Mantri is creating. For many home buyers, actually are inclined to even sign the letter, or they may eventually do. But I am not in a point like I don't want to sign anything that let go my legal rights. But in such case, say assume like say 2/3 of home buyers they sign it, but I am part of that 1/3. So am I going to lose my case in RERA because the
No.
majority of the home buyers want to let go?
The simple mathematical or magical figure is, if you sign and give as a waiver, you are losing it. People who are not signed will not. And it would be easier for them to collect their money at the end of the day. Recovery will definitely happen. There is method to recover. It will take time. I'm not saying you will get it money immediately in your hand. Until you get your money back, the process of, the money keeps growing for you. It's a tree which keeps growing.
Yeah.
You will not be able to pluck the fruits immediately. Either the tree should dry out, that is the Mantri should run away and from entire thing, or properties are not there, then you may not be able to recover. Otherwise, you'll be able to recover the money.
Yeah, and one important, I think, letter, one of the home buyer who was shared in a WhatsApp group, for the interest of everyone, I will just share that. You will have to, look at it, who is losing what, right? I will just share that, Mantri. Okay.
Because this is a good point, because I like to fight for my legal rights. I don't want to let it go just without fighting.
No, I will suggest like this: if anybody wants to lose, you are standing to gain more, because it's easier to pay few people rather than paying everybody. So it is for individual thing.
That's a good point.
Just I will read out, okay, in the interest of everybody. This is a letter which has been sent to one of the home buyer. The term date of possession as mentioned in Schedule B of agreement for a construction executed between us stands subtitled with a revised possession date, and the agreement of construction shall be constructed accordingly. Any right, relief, remedy, etc. available to the alertees under the law or the agreement of construction for delay in handover of possession of the unit by the developer shall automatically stand waived and extended until the possession date is set out hereinafter. However, I will be entitled to receive delayed compensation as mentioned at the clause number 14.5 in the agreement of construction executed between us till the revised possession date. If you look at what is agreed in clause number 14.5 is 3 rupee per square feet. If somebody signs this, that means no point in filing any RERA case.
I know, and you know what? This one is beautifully written. It is like I'm agreeing for changing my possession date to 2022, and beyond that, I'll get 3 rupee per square feet. So actually, it is like if they give me a 2022, I'll not get even a single paisa.
So that's why,
That is the
guys, it's very, 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 very straightforward. Okay, you don't lose your rights. That's the only fundamental, right? Whether you file
Yeah.
a case now or later is your choice, but don't
Yeah.
sign the letter which will, destroy your rights on your compensation. It's you individually call when you want to file, but as per Mohan sir suggestions or as per my understanding, it's a golden opportunity for us to keep the order in hand before you get a possession. Because if you look at my case itself, I need to pay another 12-13 lakhs rupees to Mantri, and my compensation may
balance
come
out.
around 20-25 lakhs. Why I will pay 12 lakhs and then file a case for 25 lakhs? Rather, I will set it off in the RERA court saying that, boss, I need to pay 12 lakhs and then let compensation be compensated with it. It's a common sense, right? So please, guys, think
Yeah.
logically. Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
And
One
one
important
question
question.
I have a question.
Yeah.
An important
I have a
question,
question.
for many of us who are actually staying abroad, how do we file the case, Mohan sir?
Sir, you can connect with me. We have the mechanism to do it, and the only thing required from the people who are abroad and for the people who are in Bangalore also, the same mechanism is, we are employing it. We need only wakalat, that is a physical copy signed from you that you are engaging the services of a lawyer, which we will file at RERA. Rest of the things you can communicate through WhatsApp and email me the documents. From there, we take it and we take it forward, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much.
And also, just in the interest of everybody's stuff, we'll be directly connecting with Mohan sir on a regular basis. At least I have been communicating to Mohan sir from last almost every day with respect to tracking the status of the people who already filed. I think 20 people already filed, processed. I think 10 or 15 people already filed by Mohan sir.
15 to 18 filed.
Yeah, 15 has been filed, and
The
rest
10 is under process.
10 is
Because
under.
of this festival,
Yeah.
because of the festival, we have slowed down.
Exactly.
We
So
have a lesser.
I will
Mohan,
be
hi, sir.
from the buyers forum. We'll be keeping a check on each of the cases that will be filed through us, and with the support of Mohan sir, he's been very extremely helpful, and communicating what is the status of it. So we'll be taking another extra bird's eye on each of the cases from our buyers forum. So that's something that I wanted to commit. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
one
any
more final
questions?
question
Yeah.
from me.
Also,
Dhananjay,
let
sir.
us know what are the
One more
various
final
documents
question
which
from
are
me.
required, please.
Yeah, please,
Yeah,
one
more final
person by one by one.
Yeah, one more final question for me. So most of us have got this letter from Mantri now, right? So what should we do? Should we just reply back to them saying that we are looking at our legal options, or because there is so many messages going on the Telegram group, and it is becoming extremely stressful for us actually. Even as we
Ignore it,
speak
sir.
now, there are some 20
Ignore.
messages
Sir,
going
the
on
best
now.
solution
My
is
suggestion, my request, please ignore. See, it is like something, when something bad is happening, something good is not there. If some food is allergic to you, you ignore that food, isn't it? So ignore those messages which is allergic or creating a panic to you. Ignore those things.
One way is that
Law
you
will
may
not
even
protect
want to think of exiting that group. There is no harm. You will not lose anything, because by exiting that group, you will have peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Yes, I agree.
Guys, please understand, the builder responsibility is to develop a project, right? And if builder is asking you lose your rights and compensation, please think logically whether it makes sense to respond to such emails. I will not do it, right? Please exercise this, and I can understand, since people are not in town and people are out of Bangalore, there may be some panic which is being created, and I think some people will try to do that, right? Within our buyer community itself, most are unfortunately, to say this, people are not telling the truth. People are not telling actually what is the procedure and what is the law which is existing. Right? People are trying to hide the information. That is exactly what we are trying to educate through this buyer forum platform. Open, honest, and transit communication is what we believe in. I think this is the second platform, time that.
Dhananjay, I have one question. Last question. Can I ask?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
I just want to ask, how does the force majeure clause, which is laid out in the agreement, is going to how does that relates to the RERA compensation? Does it get affected with that force majeure clause? Will still be builder would be able to take some sort of benefit, giving that force majeure which was not my control, so I cannot give the compensation for so and so period.
Yeah, I understood, sir. Let me put it. Law defines what is force majeure. Force majeure in other terms or in a local language, it's called act of God. Now, if you look into your agreement, the force majeure clause says non-availability of sand, non-availability of cement, non-availability of steel as a force majeure. It is not a force majeure as defined by Government of India or under any statute. The statute clearly defines force majeure as a natural calamity, an earthquake of a magnitude which puts humanity at risk.
Correct.
A flooding. I'm not talking about any rainy or a seasonal rain.
Santosh, can you please go on mute?
Sure, sorry.
Yeah. A flooding which devastates the entire state, which cripples everything, or COVID-19 is a force majeure. But Government of India, when it declared COVID-19 as a force majeure, it has clearly defined the period is if the default happens during this COVID. If the default has happened before, there is no exemption. So the bottom line is, if your possession date is before COVID-19 was declared as a force majeure, that is March 23. If your possession date is before March 23, 2020, there is no force majeure defined. Even any clause of force majeure defined under your agreement is null and void. No courts take recognize or cognizance of the things which is written by the builder unilaterally in their favor. So the force majeure concept in court of law, which when we argue in the court of law, means an act of God like a flood, earthquake, or a volcano, or a war. And we are living in a country, we are very peaceful. We are in south of India, which is much more peaceful. So there is no force majeure applicable, except for the people whose agreement date may fall after March 24th, 2020. That period is only for a 6-month period. That is also lapsed.
Sir, one of because
Sir, one question I had regarding the filing. So one question I had regarding the fund. Sorry.
It's regarding to the force majeure only. When I was interacting with Mantri, probably 2.5-3 years ago, see, they were continuously telling me on the force majeure, I was asking them to pay me pre-EMI till the possession because they had stopped at certain time. So they were saying it's force majeure. One of the reasons which they were giving is the neighbors over there had given a complaint of sound and all. So because of which the working hours has been restricted, and Mantri was unable to work at night, as well as Mantri was unable to work at extended hours at site. So that is one of the points which Mantri was keep on responding to me. It's a force majeure. It's a force majeure, wherein I was denying that it's not a force majeure. You anyway have to abide by the law and fulfill your liabilities. I mean, you have to complete it because you have never mentioned that you would be working 24 hours for constructing.
Okay.
So
now I'll come to that point. Force majeure, what they are trying to explain. See, there is no stay order from the court. Okay. There was a guidelines given that 24 hours work should not happen, dusting should not happen, and all those things. Okay. Mantri is taking this stand across all the projects, saying that their neighbor has given a complaint. Now, in your case, who is your neighbor? ESCOM? This project belongs to ESCOM. So there cannot be a complaint from them. Did Mantri share any kind of an orders or a complaint copy from anybody to saying that work has to be stopped? It will not be there because it's non-existing. They are just trying to give an answer and trying to, push the customers who do not have the expertise in law. It is very clear. You people do not know the law. They are giving you false information. That's it. So please do not consider whatever they say as a true or gospel of truth. Ignore it, sir.
Okay,
Dhananjay sir, I have
just
couple
in
of
the
questions.
I also have.
In the interest of time, we have 10 more minutes. I want to summarize in the last 5 minutes. We have 3 more minutes for questions. Please go ahead.
Dhananjay sir,
So I have one question, sir, regarding the filing of the case. Should we file it individually or through the buyer's forum, like which would have more weight?
Compensation has to be individual.
Okay, individual.
So there were some 100 of I think the buyers had filed a case maybe some 7-8 months back, right? So I think they went in a group and filed the case.
Okay,
So
let me summarize that. I think the same case is handled by Mohan sir.
I'll just clear that. Sir, I will just clear that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is a class action case which is going on for completion of project. I am only prosecuting that matter. We are not sought for even 1 rupee as a compensation in it. It is meant for completion of project. So please do not think that those people have asked for compensation. Compensation is an individual nature. Law is very clear. It goes to AO level. It has to be one-to-one basis.
Sir, I have couple of questions. I think actually these are beneficial to each and every buyer. If you please permit me, I'll.
Please go ahead.
Even I have dropped actually these questions in the chat box. Sir, actually I took flat in Mantri Tranquil in 2010. Actually, I have been a waiting customer since last 1 decade. Anyway, by the way, actually,
slope
sir, my question is. Sir,
requesting other to please.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
I think Dhananjay, you mute everybody else except Mohan.
Yeah, I muted everyone. Yeah. Go ahead, sir. Somebody was asking question. Instead of background, probably you can directly ask the direct question.
Dhananjay sir, this is Ravikiran.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. See, my question is this. See, when Mantri is tackling on an individual basis, sharing a communications on individual addressing to individual for customers, but why we cannot route it through Mr. Mohan only? Means let whatever is there will reply only through Mr. Mohan.
Ravikiran sir, let me answer that question. Let me answer that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Have you filed a case in RERA? Yet to, right? And the case is in the court of law, and Mohan sir will answer to his lawyer in the court of law, right? So let me be honest, he's an advocate, right? He's not. So
correct.
Hope you got answer. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
No,
any communication will come from customer to a buyer, right? You are a buyer and Mantri is a builder. So communication will come. Please ignore if it is not irrelevant. If it is irrelevant to you, and then just move on.
Correct.
Sir, I was muted.
I'll add one thing. See, if at all it is very important, I am sure Dhananjay sir and other people who are actually heading various groups, they'll get first-hand information and post it. And if it is from customer's end and a valid one, try to think. Otherwise, if Mantri is putting anything, just ignore them.
Sir, can I go ahead, please?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I just wanted to know actually what about the execution? Execution would take time actually, because getting a verdict is not that difficult. That is my first question. And the next one is actually how much time it will take to obtain the verdict. Okay, sir. Third, and because I'll put all my questions so that actually you can answer. Sir, actually, will the RERA case would further delay my possession when Mantri is actually ready for delivering the flat? Sir, my last question is, if I would like to sell my flat in between, okay, sir, would my RERA case be a hurdle actually for me to dispose of my flat? These are the 4 questions I have. If you can please answer, actually would benefit everyone.
Sir, I will take your 4th question. If you are in position right now to sell it with the unfinished product, okay, there's no bar for you to sell it if Mantri accepts it and if you find a new buyer. Okay. Going to RERA is an individual right. That will not stop you from getting possession. In fact, that will help you to get possession. So if you have that kind of an apprehension that I go to RERA and I not get possession, it is totally wrong. Because in tribunal level also where we are taken in appeal, in fact, the Mantri lawyers have come and said that we'll try to settle it, we try to give them possession, give us time to negotiate and try to give them money and settle. This is what they have submitted in the court of record. It is already on record in other matters, which is my personal experience representing the other projects also. So if you have that kind of fear, please ignore it. It's not a valid fear. All those kind of rumors and other things, you should negativity should be removed. Whatever is your right, please enforce it. Insofar as recovery is concerned, sir, right now the project is unfinished, so recovery may be a little difficult. You have funds going on and the project starts. Once you get a verdict, definitely we'll start the process of recovering and we'll show how the recovery can be done.
Sir, but how much time it will take usually to get the verdict?
Sir, of late, it has become 5 to 6 months because of COVID. There is a delay. Otherwise, it was a 3 to 4 months process. We are expecting the RERA forum to open it so that we will have a more hearings and the faster disposal. As of now, it is like 5 to 6 months is the minimum.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, one more question. Is there any way?
One second, sir. One second. We are already.
EMI?
Just, sir. 1 second. We are almost 1.5 hours spent on this call. Last, Sridharji, you have some question. I think Sridhar is trying to ask question. Please go ahead, Sridhar. Last question. Festival day. I don't want to, take much time of Mohan, sir. Yeah. Go ahead, Sridhar.
Yeah. Thank you, Dhananjay. I think Mohan sir has given a lot of information here. Okay. My only question is like when it comes to pre-EMI schemes, okay, initially he was saying that there are multiple people, they've given the multiple types of pre-EMI. Okay, some people they've given exactly some interest, bank of interest rate. Some people they have given different amount. I mean, it's not exactly the 10%, they have given some difference amount. Okay. So in that example, how other person can proceed for this? For example, initially they said, okay, for the 3 years or the position date, whichever is earlier till that time, we're going to pay the minimum so and so pre-EMI amount. Okay, but it extended more than 4 years. Okay, and 4 years we have to fight for that all the pre-EMI until we get the position, or how we are going to deal with it?
So Dhananjay sir, can you please clarify, because I was not able to hear it.
Sridharji's point is when there is any pre-EMI scheme, I think you very well explained in the past. Sridharji, I think correct me if I'm understanding, pre-EMI scheme, they work out from the date of possession, from the last payment being made till the OC is obtained, right? Till the time is considered as a compensation period, and the amount what has been deposited till that time, right? That from that time till the OC, what you obtain is the period of compensation, and that will be given as per SBI MCLR plus 2% or whatever is the prevailing rate. So that is what it is, and then that needs to be calculated, and then probably Mohan sir can work out a Excel sheet, and then can give a rough estimate. When the case is being in the judgment stage, they will definitely do all those mathematical calculation. I think judge will pass an order accordingly. In nutshell, if you want to calculate on a rough shell, for example, your possession, if you are given entire money in 2017, say 70 lakh is what you have paid. From 70 lakh from 2017, and the possession date was 2018, right? From that date, you have to calculate the interest. 70 lakh amount from 2017 till OC is obtained, say around 2021. 4 years is the period what you are supposed to be getting the compensation.
And it's only the compensation, right? And the pre-EMIs are still to be given by Mantri only.
That will also be considered. Mohan sir, you want to answer that question?
Yeah. Sir, what happens is your pre-EMI, if the Mantri order is passed on pre-EMI, for that money which is being given by the bank, it is not your money. So the compensation of pre-EMI, you will not get compensation on that, but on the money paid by you from your self contribution.
Okay. Currently my scenario is.
I'll give an example. If the apartment cost is 1 CR, 20 lakhs is your contribution. 80 lakhs comes from bank for pre-EMI scheme, and you say your pre-EMI is 60,000 rupees. Okay. Now, when RERA verdict is passed, what we argue is 20 lakh rupees should be given a compensation at the rate of SBI plus 2% from the date of possession till you get possession. On the pre-EMI money, we said that since it has not been given, whatever arrears of pre-EMI money is there, that money along with until possession, the same pre-EMI has to be given to you. So when you calculate that pre-EMI of 60,000 rupees, it will be more or less the same thing as 9.25% interest, which you will get it on 20 lakh rupees. So if you merge both the amounts, the quantum of compensation will remain the same. It's only hypothetically a few hundred rupees you will be more or few hundred rupees less. So the quantum of compensation will be static. That mathematical formulas I have checked in other cases, it's coming as a standstill. There's no loss for you on that basis.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. I think in the interest of time, we already
Thank you,
spent
sir.
90 minutes.
Sorry,
Any
I
last
just
question? I think
question.
Sudeep is
Yeah,
waving his hand.
I
Sudeep,
have a question.
yeah, please go ahead, ma'am. Last question, please, because it's already 10 o'clock on a festival day. We have taken a lot of time from Mohan, sir. Go
Yeah,
ahead, ma'am.
sorry, this one
Go ahead.
question, Mohan.
Yeah.
Actually, I had booked the unit in 2015, and since
Madam, if you
the
don't mind, can
construction
you please put your video on so that everybody know whom we are speaking?
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
So I
go
had
ahead.
booked the unit in 2015, and since the construction was going very slow and I was not able to get my, I mean, I never saw the reality happening as it was promised. I shifted again in 2019 from block 3 to block 4. So thereby my agreement also got, revised, and the dates also got revised. So my compensation will be counted from the original date of my unit of the earlier unit or the recent agreement. Just wanted to know on that.
What is your date of possession, ma'am, as per the recent agreement?
2020 January.
January. And was there a monthly when they shifted? Did they give you any kind of compensation?
No, nothing. No,
In fact,
I have.
In fact,
I
they
have
must have asked to pay more.
cited the reason. Almost same. It was the
Okay.
rate was almost
Almost
same. But
same,
what
okay.
has happened is I have cited reasons. Since the delay is happening, I'm shifting from block 3 to block 4. I have sent a mail based on these grounds. I'm shifting the unit.
Yeah. Did they give you a bigger apartment?
Yeah, slightly bigger. This is a 2 BHK earlier. The unit size was smaller.
And
Now
I think
it's
they would have
bigger,
settled that
3
we will
BHK.
pay you the same old price, something like that.
Yeah, very marginal difference, similar rate it was.
And the old agreement is cancelled. Your bank loan is shifted, ma'am.
Yes, bank loan also have shifted.
So you virtually have cancelled the old agreement and come into new agreement.
Yes.
So now your compensation will start as per the new agreement.
Oh, I won't get from the original date.
But you have already got some kind of compensation from Mantri for shifting a smaller unit to bigger unit at a old price. Something they would have done it.
Yeah, little bit is
Yeah.
there. So I won't get that.
Yeah.
No, you will get it from the new date of possession. Please go ahead with the new date of possession. You are entitled for compensation.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Dhananjay,
Yeah.
I've got a last question.
Sorry,
Can I?
please, guys.
Can
Today
you
is a
wait up?
festival day. last. I know it's already 10 o'clock. So, sorry, go ahead, sir. Last one.
Yeah, my name is Krishna. I'm calling from Dubai. I just want to know my date of possession was December 2015, and they paid the pre-EMI till October 2017. I'm on a pre-EMI scheme, paid the full money in 2013 itself. So my compensation, if I go by RERA, will start from 2015 or from 2017.
So there will be two components in yours. They will have given you pre-EMI on your 80% or 70%. For 30%, they have not given you compensation. So we split that and said for 30% they have to give from 2015. For 2017, you have to get it till date.
Okay. So they'll merge these two and
Any
then
kind of
give you a...
individual. Now I would suggest if any kind of individual cases discussion has to be done, and we are filing it, that will be discussed, because I won't be doing a blanket uniform or a thing. I take much time. I discuss with each client to client basis, understand their problem, and then draft. So I take more time to draft it. So any kind of individual cases, or where you want to have an individual query for your individual cases, you can connect to me. At the time of filing, we will take care of those things.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, sir. I think if you have any individual questions, probably what I do is, I will share the Mohan sir's number. I request everyone to go on mute. Since we are already on a festival day, we are almost reaching 10 o'clock, and I think family members must be waiting. And we'll close this today's session, and then I will share Mohan's number after this call in our WhatsApp group. And then on your case-to-case basis, you can reach out to Mohan sir directly and have a conversation with Mohan sir, and then accordingly you can file it. And then the only request is, see, we are not propagating, or we are not trying to push anyone for anything, right? So we are trying to educate what the law says. and what the rights of any home buyer, that is, each home buyer is supposed to get from a builder if his rights are not being met by the builder, right? So that is exactly what we are trying to educate, rather than pushing any home buyer. It is your individual call. Please think through it. We try to arrange this session with Mohan sir, and we are very thankful to Mohan sir on behalf of Mantri Serenity Home Buyers Forum Bangalore. And thanks a lot for spending more than 90 minutes of your valuable time, sir, on a festival day, and then enlightening all the home buyers who wanted to file. And hope many of home buyers must have got clarity in terms of what we are trying to tell. And I think it's important when they speak to an expert with almost close to 20 years of legal experience and dealing with a lot of cases, I think they will get confidence. And I'm sure this will help to get what their rights are duly, which is pending from Mantri. Thanks a lot, Mohan sir, and thanks to all the home buyers who
everybody, once more I wish you a happy Dasara and a happy Navratri.
Thanks a lot, sir, and wish you the same. Happy Dasara and happy Navratri. Let this Durga Mata give blessings to everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mohan sir. Thank you, Dhananjay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dhananjay sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thank you, sir. Thank you.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
ನವರಾತ್ರಿ ಹಬ್ಬದ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಸರ್. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Thank you all.
Probably I request our committee members to stay on, for some time.